For this video, what I want to do is use sum and difference identities to write a sum or a difference as an expression of a single trig value. So for this one, what I have done is I have listed out all of the cosine sum and difference, sine sum and difference, as well as tangent sum and difference identities. And I have 3 different examples that we're going to go through. Okay, so what we're going to do first is the first problem that we're given is cosine 20 degrees, cosine 30 plus sine 20, sine 30. So I'm going to go over here and figure out which of the rules that this applies to, and I'm going to basically be working backwards. So on this one, it happens to be the same as this one right here as the format, cosine, cosine plus sine, sine. So we're going to use the fact that when it's cosine, cosine plus sine, sine, that this is equal to cosine of the sum of the two angles. Of the difference of the two angles. So I would take 20 degrees minus 30 degrees. So I basically worked backwards where I took it in the expanded form and I wrote it back into this form. And now all we have to do is simplify this expression. So if I take cosine of 20 minus 30 degrees, we end up with cosine of negative 10 degrees. And I can just leave that as the final answer because of the fact that we just wrote it as a single trig value. All right, let's look at the next one that we're given. The next one that we're given is sine 230 cosine 30 minus cosine sine. So because it's sine, cosine, and cosine sine, that tells us that it's going to be one of the sine formulas. Okay, and so because there's subtraction in between, this one happens to be a difference as well. So we would say that this is really sine of 230 minus 30. And then we can just simplify this and say that this is sine of 200 degrees. And that would be my final answer. Okay, so you're just trying to figure out, is it a sum or is it a difference? All right, the last one that we're going to look at is tangent. So it's going to use one of these 2 rules. Because it's positive on the top, that corresponds to a positive on the top. So this is a tangent of a plus b. So I would just rewrite this as tangent of pi over 7 plus pi over 5. So it looks really complicated, but it's actually very simple. And then all we have to do is simplify the inside expression. Okay, so remember, to add fractions, they have to have a common denominator. So the common denominator of 7 and 5 is 35. The first one would be 5 pi over 35 plus 7 pi over 35. So we can say that the simplified expression of this is 5 plus 7, which is 12 pi over 35. As always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. If there are additional topics you need me to cover, please let me know that as well, and I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe.